Welcome to our Building Connected Communities interview. My name is Sue DeCaro, and I'm here with my good friend and colleague, Erin Taylor. And today we have the wonderful pleasure of interviewing a friend and someone we really admire, Anna Grace Taylor. Anna is known as the Angel's Voice. She is an angel therapist, Theta Healing Practitioner, singer-songwriter, motivational speaker, and writer. Anna has been featured on BBC Radio and Hay House Radio, as well as the Wall Street Journal and USA Today best-selling books. Using her natural, intuitive gifts developed by years of training and experience, Anna connects with divine love and guidance to support people with all aspects of life as a catalyst for transformation for people all over the world. Welcome, Anna. We're delighted that you're here with us today.
Oh, it's so nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Our pleasure. Anna, would you tell us and our audience a little bit about what has inspired your work in the field of healing?
Yes, now that's always a big story, but I'll just try and give you the short version. I was born very early, along with my twin sister. We were 11 weeks premature, and the doctors basically told us that told my parents that they would do everything that they could to keep us alive. And as a result of that, perhaps because of lack of oxygen or whatever, when I was 18 months old, I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, which affects my legs. So sometimes I'll use crutches, sometimes I'll use a wheelchair, but it's been something that I've dealt with since I was born. And really, I didn't take my first proper steps until I was 6 years old. So my mobility has always been a challenge for me. And when I was a teenager, I was told that I had to have surgery, otherwise I would be confined to a wheelchair. So it was a big deal in that moment. You know what it's like with young people. There's enough going on at that time, and throw that into the mix, and everything was kind of really up in the air for me. So I had the surgery. And then they said to me, there's all this rehabilitation you have to do. And I had to learn to walk again twice. And at that point, my system just crashed completely. And I was really sick for a long time. And because of that, I went on this other journey that really I wanted to help myself when doctors couldn't help me. So I did reflexology and aromatherapy. I had healing treatments. I had acupuncture. And because of those people, those amazing people, I started to learn about those things, and I could feel energy running through my body and, all kinds of different experiences that I had. So that really culminated in me seeing an angel in my room when I was about 20 years old. And obviously that was pretty profound and life-changing for me. So it led me to take Drawing Virtues class, and really, she was a big catalyst for what I do now. And now I'm talking to you and I get to do cool things like this. so yeah, that's the short version. But I felt very much at that point that I was shown the reason why I had all of these experiences, because I understood that my sensitivity and my intuition that had always been there. Oh, right, I actually can do something with this, and I can help people like they're helping me. And so I really started to feel a sense of purpose. So it was very powerful, and I feel grateful for it now, because I was young at the time. I was 22 years old, and I was starting to discover all of these things that, I didn't really understand, logically, but I just knew that they were real. So I've been on that kind of path ever since. And yeah, I really love what I do.
That's incredible. I love the way you took so many challenging situations in your life and learned and grew from them, and then used it to help other people. Wow.
Yeah, I have to say, to me, I don't, and I'm sure you can relate to this as well, I don't really see the point of going through something if I can't share it. So for me, that's my motivation. That is my reason. I feel even now, you know how I am, that if I'm going through something, I will share it, or I'll say, this is what I learned today, or this is the experience I had, and it just is what's natural to me. And so the fact that I get to do that as a job it feels like I feel really blessed about that, because really then my work is not really my work. It's just something that I do naturally, and particularly with things like this and talking to you and being on Facebook and doing all the things that we do, it's something I'm pretty sure I would do anyway. But the fact that I can have a career out of it is a great thing too.
It's having a career and being your authentic self. It's a
For
beautiful,
sure.
beautiful thing. What a gift.
It is, and that's the thing, is that however many challenges we have, I also feel there are so many huge blessings, because I've never had a 9-to-5 job. I've never done things that I've not wanted to do, because I those choices were kind of taken away from me in a way, but now I don't regret a single thing, because I'm here right now. So
That's beautiful. Well, you can see you just radiate joy. So it's clearly obvious that you are completely living your life's purpose, because it's just written all over your face.
Thank you. I would say it's not always the case, but I feel very connected to who I am, and I know what's important to me and what's not important. And I think sometimes when you go through so much, or all of us have at certain times, it really teaches you, where you want to put your focus and how much life matters, and what you want to do to make a difference. And I just feel that because that happened to me early on, I haven't had to kind of unlearn a lot of the stuff. It just, by the time I was 17 years old, I was having these kinds of experiences. And so I feel like I had less conditioning, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Incredible. Well, we personally know that you have an angel's voice. But before we ask you to give our audience a little sampling of your beautiful voice, we were wondering what kind of role music has played in your life, and when you realized you had this talent.
Well, my mum left school very young to be a dancer, and so dancing and music were very much part of my household. My sister danced. I went to ballet classes when I was little, doing my little thing as much as I could. And so it was very much a part of our experience. And so we were always singing along to different things. And it just became something that I did, with friends, or I was in the school choir. And then at that time, around the same time that I started to have all of those experiences, about 20 years old, I met a lady who started to sing with me just for healing and just for expression. So it wasn't about performance. It wasn't about recording anything. It was just so that I could feel connected to something I loved. And that really inspired me to sing more and to do more. And at Doreen Virtue's class in 2003, she had me sing 100,000 Angels. I don't know if you know that song.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so she said, "Oh, have you got a recording of that?" And I said, I looked at her, like, "No, I haven't," thinking that she was crazy, and why would she ask me? And so the following year, I recorded something in a home studio. I recorded a version of that song, and that really inspired me to want to write my own music and my own thing. So I did a few years later. That's the whole story, which is probably too long for this interview, but there is a story where I had lots of friends around the world at that time, just like we do now, just before Facebook. In fact, it was just when everyone was starting to get on Facebook, that I wanted to raise the money to record this album. And so I created what I called a wall of love, so people could sponsor the hearts and put a heart in my CD booklet, which you can still see. And that's how I made the album. So it was really a big deal at that time. It's 7 years ago now, so it was a long time. But then last year I met another friend of mine who's local to me, so I didn't have to go to California this time, and we started to write a song and really got on well. So I recorded that and released that at the end of last year. So that at the moment has been, you know, the latest song I've done, but I'm starting to get back into it more. And it's just, for me, music is a friend of mine. I don't have a day where I don't listen to music. And I don't know about you, but when you have something that you feel really passionate about, you can't really imagine not doing that thing or not having that. And music is definitely that for me.
Well, you have an amazing voice, and I love how your journey in music has unfolded, and what it, you know, again, what a gift this woman was to help you to see that you had this amazing voice and to sing with you and realize how important that became in your life. And so, you know, I absolutely adore your latest album.
Oh, thank you.
So I don't know if now's a good time for you to, since we're talking about your music, to maybe share a little clip.
Sure. Let me just say. Okay, so I'm just gonna sing a little bit of the latest song. It's called "You Saved Me," and it's really not about somebody saving me. The whole context of the song is you can be there for someone, you can love and support someone. We can all do that for each other, but ultimately we are the ones who save ourselves. So that part of the song goes, "You saved me, you saved me, you brought me life so I could finally see I am the one who saved me. I am the one who saved me." So that's the song, and I love it. I love the fact that we can do that, and I would have sang a lot more for you, but I wanted to do the track. So if you want to listen to more of a track, you can find that on my website, annagracetaylor.com.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh, I have goosebumps. It was so beautiful, and that you can just sit there and nail those notes is amazing.
Oh, thank you. It's well, I wanted to just do that little bit because I want people to hear the context of the song. If you start at the beginning of the song, people go, "Why are you writing a song? And why are you saying that somebody saved you?" And really, you have to listen to the whole song. So that's why I wanted to do the last part, because it gives the context of the song. But I love singing. Thank you.
Well, we've certainly learned a lot about your passions, you know, in the last few minutes. And I'm wondering what's most rewarding for you in your work. I mean, we talked about music, we've talked about, you know, the energy work that you do. And I'm wondering what is really most rewarding for you in all the wonderful gifts that you have that you're sharing all over the world.
Love, really. Love. I want to, my motivation is always that. And sometimes that means that, you know, I may not have the life that everyone else has, you know, around me, or, you know, I may not have quote unquote success yet, you know, but I feel like I'm sort of living my life backwards a little bit. So some of the things that I have learned early on in my life, I'm now kind of really using them so that I can actually reach more people and I can create a life for myself. Whereas I feel for me that the most rewarding part of my work is to be able to remind people of that, to kind of actually show them what is important for them, or remind them who they are, remind them of their purpose, which to me is always love. The details of that is you know, variable depending on who we are, but you know, you're amazing with children and young people. Somebody else might be really fabulous at coaching and business. You know, for me, I love the angels. You know, there's so many different facets to that, but ultimately I love to be able to connect with someone with what that is for them, and to help them to see that if we're all supported and all connected to this love, whether you call it God, the divine, the angels, if we all really knew that, then our entire lives and the world would be completely different, wouldn't it? So I want to feel that I'm contributing to that, and if I get to, you know, do something fun along the way and meet this person and meet that person, then it's all part of it. And I don't know about you, but the more true that we are to ourselves, just like we're being right now, you get those opportunities to do really exciting things, and to, you know, like with the internet right now, we can reach millions of people without really understanding how we do that, you know. So we have so much opportunity to create a different world, or a truer experience of our world. And I think that all of us are coming together to remember that. And for me, anything that I can do to help people connect to their true selves is always my greatest joy. So
That's awesome. I love that you are an example of how you can use technology for making the world a better place. I'm thinking about how when the internet first came out and social media, and you know, there was so much stranger danger, and I mean there still is, right?
yes, sure.
And so much talk, especially with young people, don't give your information out online, and you know, make sure you're anonymous. And then there were sometimes you see anonymous people who post bad things, nasty things, because they can hide behind that. But I love that you bring your authentic self to technology, and it's your way of reaching a wider audience with your work, and it's beautiful.
In actual fact, it's really funny we're talking now, because I'm just, you know, while we're doing this interview, I'm just about to get to 1 million people on my Facebook page. Yay. And so it's really, you know, it's really wonderful, because obviously I've got lots of people, you know, waiting for me to do that, and I might have done that by the time people see this interview. But I suddenly realized that, you know, the younger me would never have ever thought that I could have, you know, have 10,000 people on my page, let alone 1 million. So the idea of that, one, is overwhelming and so exciting, but it also made me remember that, you know, I used to say when I started this work, oh, I'd really love to reach millions of people with what I do. And so I had to realize I am actually doing that. And now my intention can be, I want to reach millions of people outside of social media as well. So we'll see where that takes us, shall we? So we'll see. But I love the fact that I can be in England, you can be in the US, there can be all different people that we connect to each and every day, and that there isn't that barrier anymore, and that we can really use our voices or our words to impact somebody that might be having a really stressful time or a difficult challenge, you know, halfway across the world. And I think that, you know, as long as we really remember the gift in that, then even if there are weird things that happen on social media, you're going to come back to, wow, this is an amazing thing that we're doing. And actually there might be weird experiences that happen, but that's life too, isn't it? Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's an amazing blessing. You'll never hear me complain about any of it, because it really gave me half the friends I have, not kidding, half the friends I have, the career I have, the album I have, so in some form the health I have, because I would not have found the classes that I took at that time without the internet. So, you know, it's the impact of it can be really far reaching. And I know that, you know, our mentor Brian McGill and Jenny Young, they say that all of the time, and it's really true. And I love that they're allowing us to, you know, to express that more and to connect with each other, because the power of it nowadays is only going to increase, isn't it?
For sure. Mm-hmm. You know, I love that you're manifesting these, you know, it sounds as if you manifested your connections, almost 1 million on Facebook. And I love that you just put out there, maybe you did before, that you want to manifest connections outside of social media all over the world. And there's no doubt, and I'm sure I can speak for you as well, Erin, in our minds that you will make that happen. And I guess that leads me to think about your business and the growth of your business and your clientele. And I'm curious how you advertise and how you find clients for the work that you're doing all over the world.
You know, I obviously I live in England, so I do see people in England, but I have to say most of my work, probably 80% of my work, is online. And so a lot of the work I that comes to me, and is mainly through Facebook or through just finding me on Google. People will say, oh, I just happened to type angels in, or I was looking for someone that worked with Doing Virtue, or I was I'm in England, so I want to connect with you. So even if I do speak to people in England, they're usually not on my doorstep, so it's kind of funny how it works. So all of that, especially with Google and the way that it helps us to search people and do all of that, I think that that's been a big thing, because Facebook and YouTube, where I have an audience as well, I do weekly readings for people on video, so that's all linked to that. And I think somehow that kind of expands your reach when people are typing in these kinds of things. And I remember somebody saying to me last year, how did you get to be #1 in England on the Google thing, your angel readings? And I said, really? I am? I had no idea. So I have to tell you that the business thing, I still am learning about that and how to use that more. I think most of my stuff has happened organically. I wish I could tell you I have a massive plan. I don't. But I am starting to realize that is helpful. So I don't have a specific strategy, but my strategy has always been to share as much as I can. So I share a lot on Facebook. I share a lot on my social media. I always send out newsletters every week. So when I'm sharing, I think that people are connecting to me and to my voice and to how they feel, I don't know, that I might resonate with them. Because ultimately, when you're helping someone, you're not selling something, you're selling you, right? You're selling the fact that you want to be of service. And if they resonate with you as a person, that is going to make someone go, oh, you know what, I really want to talk to you, just like you and I do, or all of us do, because we resonate with each other and say, oh, that would be a really great thing, I want to connect with those people. So when you're doing that in your business, whether that be through an email or a message, there's something that makes people go, I know you, I think I know you. And there's nothing more powerful than that, I don't think.
Agreed. I'm wondering what practices or habits you might have that keep you focused on your mission and keep you aligned with your soul's calling, because I know that with all of technology and so many things on our to-do list, it's easy to kind of get sidetracked. So how do you stay on your path?
Music is a big one. If I'm feeling a bit, I went to the gym actually this morning, which is not my favorite thing, but it's good for me. And if I stick my earphones in and I've got a favorite song going, then I feel like 5 minutes flies by. And so if I want to raise my vibration, that is the quickest way for me to do it. And music, they always say that there is a vibration that music has that nothing else has, and that's because we are vibration. So whatever we're speaking or singing or listening to affects our bodies, affects our energy immediately. Have you ever had that feeling of, you play a song and it finishes and you can feel the difference in the room? That happens instantly when we're doing that. So that for me is a big one. Meditation, but for me meditation usually includes music. So I'll have my favorite song on, or I'll just sit, and sometimes I'll just sing like I did without any music, and it will just kind of come out of me. Part of the work I do sometimes with people is just to use sound that comes out of my voice, and then we'll have an intention perhaps that they want to shift their energy in some way, or improve their intuition or their abundance, and I will sound whatever comes out, and that happens. So that's what I do for me sometimes. I will also, pray. I'm a prayer, so I pray a lot, and then I listen. So for me, prayer is connection to God, to the angels, and then being quiet or, you know, having that meditative space is really listening to what they're showing me. And if I don't do that, I feel really disconnected. So so all of that just immediately puts me into that space. And I honestly would say I don't have a massive, kind of exercise routine, because for me, exercise is just moving around generally. But those are the main things that I see. And also just generally asking for help, honestly, asking my angels for help, asking other people for help. If I feel like I'm doing things all on my own, it's going to be a lot more overwhelming. Whereas if I feel supported and like we're all in this together, which we are, then I feel like everything shifts for me, and that we can building your community, right? You can build your community, and you build your sense of what your contribution is together, rather than as a separate person. Because the thing that gets us all into trouble is if we think we're separate from everyone else, right? Mm-hmm. So comparing ourselves or trying to find out what everyone else is doing. But actually, if we realize that we're all doing it together, then we're not going to stress so much. So they're all things that I find that I do every single day to plug myself back into the truth.
What a beautiful way to honor yourself. I mean, you're really honoring yourself in terms of your work. And again, it goes back to the beginning when we talked about your authenticity. You are very clearly who you are in every way, shape, and form. I think in terms of the work you do and how it blends into just your life as part of your life. I mean, that is what I am hearing from you. And I think it is a blessing that you do this work in the world, and that the people who hire you have someone who is so authentically connected to themselves and their own heart space, and really honoring themselves in every way, shape, and form. And so I was going to ask you, what distinguishes yourself from other people that work in this field? I mean, we may know the answer to that, but I would love to hear your thoughts on it.
It's really interesting because, lots of people ask about branding nowadays, don't they?
Sure.
And I've definitely, in the last 6 months, I've been going, need to brand myself, need to do a website, need to do a logo, need to do a thing. So in that context, I found myself asking those questions a lot, because people were saying, who's your ideal thing and what do you want to work with? And, I might not be the best person to ask about that, because I like a lot of different things. But me is what makes me unique, I guess. There's no one else that has the story and the experiences that I do, and just the same for you. And I feel like we are our uniqueness. We are that. We don't have to find what that is. We just have to be who we are. And if we're being who we are, we're always going to be unique. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think for me, I've also been very aware of my differences so much all the time. I do this differently to people. I can't do this. I can do this. From 5 years old, I was very aware of how different I was. And that's really challenging growing up. Young people don't want to be different. They want to be part of a thing because it's what makes people feel safe. Mm-hmm. But as I've, and I used to really not want to be someone who stood out. I wanted to be part of the crowd. And then when I grew up and realized that, hey, actually the fact that I stand out is a really good thing, and I don't want to be one of the crowd, I realized that I was going to use the fact that I've never been able to walk down the street and, nobody take any notice, because it just doesn't happen. So now I kind of see it was just all preparing me for the fact that I can live a public life, I guess, in some form, whatever that form takes. But yeah, when people, I was asking our friend Kat this. Kat's really good at this, right? I always say to her, what on earth am I supposed to be doing? What's going on? And she says, Anna, you just have to show up and be you. And I think she says it right, really, and we do that for each other all the time. But it's so true. We actually complicate it too much. And it's really simple. Be who we are, share what we feel passionately about, do what we can. You don't have to change the world in 5 minutes. You are changing the world as you be who you are. So you don't have to have, a complete vision of what the next 5 years is going to be like. But as long as you feel like you're following a path that is unique to you and something that feels good every day, that you wake up and you go, oh wow, I love that I get to do this, then you're always going to be on the right track. So yeah, I wouldn't say there's any one answer to that, but I like being me, and that's enough.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, before I ask you the last question, we wanted to just take a moment to thank you for spending this time with us and sharing your heart with us and with our audience. And it's been such a pleasure connecting to you and hearing about all the different ways that you bring your unique self to the world and heal it in your own special way.
Thank you, Erin and Sue. I love it, and this is my favorite thing, by the way. If I could just talk to people and do this and share together, I would do this all day. Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful. So the last question we have for you is, given that Sue and I are building connected communities, we were wondering, what is the meaning of community in your life?
It is being with people I love, and really feeling connected to others who have a similar view of me to the world, and who have perhaps a certain intention to make the world a better place. And for me, that can look in various ways. It could be online, or it could be here in England. I also, my angels just said the world is the community. The world. So if we could see the world as a community, so to me, it's expanding that. So my community today could be here right now with you, but each day it can look different. So yeah, the angels just said the world is the community. The world is our community.
I love it.
So yeah, we need to broaden our horizons about what we see as community. Yeah,
it's beautiful.
That's a great point, and Sue and I agree with you that the world is our community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's where we feel community means coming together, right? Coming together to with whatever intention we have, and allowing ourselves to see each other as our strengths rather than our separation, right?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you so much, Anna, for this time and for sharing your heart with us. It's been a real pleasure.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thank
Love
you,
to
Anna.
you both.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.